As the western gate of the village burned intensely, a scene of carnage unfolded. A villager lay on the ground, terror-stricken, screaming in fear. Above him, the shadow of a mutated soldier loomed, laughing malevolently as the gate descended further into slaughter. The mercenaries, once they tasted blood, couldn't contain their excitement and began to slaughter and consume humans with abandon. As they did, the mutation accelerated, and soon, 6 spider legs grotesquely sprouted from their backs. The blood of a villager spread around as a mutated soldier began to devour him. Nearby, the blood splattered onto the foot of another man, revealed to be the mercenaries' leader, who watched with a sinister smile as his mutated soldier fed. Tarki approached, questioning the mercenary captain. "Is this fine? You said you were looking for the book?" Then some more, who only turned his eyes toward him, expression unchanged. Tarki's face registered fear as he listened to the cries of the people being devoured. The mercenary captain responded with an evil laugh. It's a little different from what I expected, but it's going well." Tarki, shocked, retorted, "It's going well. Look here, there's no way the person with the book would come to the village now, right? Wouldn't people only come when things look peaceful from the outside?" The mercenary captain appeared confused at first, but then stated, "The bodies just have to be removed. We need to quickly eliminate the resistance and clean up." As he passed by some corpses being eaten by his mutated soldier, he noticed a shape drawn on the ground, a triangle within a circle. Frustrated, he kicked the mutated soldier, sending him flying, and turned to Tarki, a triangle on the ground. Blood smeared around the symbol as the mercenaries devoured the corpses. Tarki mumbled in surprise, "Devil of gold coins?" The mercenary captain replied, taken aback, "Devil of gold. If it's the devil of the gold coin, could it be the Emperor's heretic? The Heretic clan?" Sitting atop a corpse, he pondered, "Didn't they say that the book was scattered around the world because of the Heretic clan? They must be frantically looking for it." Grinding his teeth in frustration, the mercenary captain concluded, "The Heretic clan might have it." Tarki, in shock, asked, "Are you going to fight the devil of the gold coin?" As he stood, the captain mused, "Of course, there are only a rare few aside from those people who could infiltrate our camp, stealthily steal our belongings, and escape. It's not the mindless act of a random thief." He chuckled, then added, "Let's see. No gold coins. Did you use it? If so, that's fine. A heretic will come." With a strategic tone, he suggested, "If we know when the enemy is coming, we hold the advantage. Shall we set a trap?" Suddenly, Tarki noticed a bright light behind him and exclaimed in confusion. Before he could react, an arrow zipped past him. It wasn't aimed at him. Had it been, he would have been dead. Instead, it targeted the mercenary captain's head. With swift reflexes, the captain caught the arrow effortlessly. Breaking it with his hand, he remarked, "Funny, that was quick. We were being observed after all." As he discarded the arrow, another was already hurtling towards his face. The captain laughed off the threat. "Can you not see this is futile?" he taunted, moving to intercept the second arrow. This time, however, the arrow was slick with oil, making it harder to grasp. Furthermore, this arrow was stronger than the first, which had likely been shot weakly on purpose to serve as a distraction, while this one was aimed with lethal intent. The oiled arrow slipped through his defenses and struck him squarely in the face. The impact shattered the area between his brows and his eyeball, causing his eyes to droop helplessly as the muscles that controlled eye movement were severed. As the arrow hit, his head jerked backward, and turning back to his attacker, he gasped, "Was the first arrow deliberately weaker?" At that moment, spider-like legs erupted from the captain's chest, piercing through his body. With a sinister grin, he scoffed, "Ha, this is the Emperor's heretic? What a joke." Just then, a man wearing a falcon mask, recognized as Azadine, charged in, brandishing his sword. Azadine struck at the mercenary captain's chest, prompting a panicked attempt by the captain to block the attack using his newly sprouted spider-like legs. With a smirk, Azadine taunted, "You're quite the character, Herald Clan." Before Azadine's sword could strike, the captain parried with his own blade. Azadine continued his assault, each swing met by the captain's defensive maneuvers. In a swift motion, Azadine reached for the hilt of the captain's waist-bound sword with his free hand and drew it. He delivered a blow that should have broken the captain's jaw. Yet, instead of falling unconscious, the captain remained alert, aided by the reactive spiders within his body. As Azadine and the mercenary captain clashed fiercely, Tarki found himself cowering to avoid being caught in the crossfire, silently grateful for his instinctive evasion earlier. Observing the brutal fight, a thought crossed his mind: the outcome could be disastrous for him regardless of which monster emerged victorious. Retreating to a corner, he was overwhelmed by emotion, yearning for the comfort of his mother. In the midst of the chaos, Azadine executed a sudden leap, appearing before the mercenary cap and striking down, severing a spider leg instead of reaching his intended target. The leg, now powerless, dangled uselessly, witnessing his diminished state. Facing the mercenary captain, who was desperately trying to maintain his composure, Azadine gripped his sword with both hands. He contemplated the captain's resilience and authority, evident even in his monstrous form, hinting at his significant rank within the court. Confronted by Azadine, the captain inquired, "Are you a member of the Heretic clan?" His body then began to transform as more spider legs sprouted, his tone arrogant. "With your level of skill, you cannot kill me." Azadine, unfazed and slightly puzzled, retorted, "Then what?" Before the captain could react, Azadine vanished and reappeared in front of him, taunting, "Well, you are still just a spider, right?" As the captain tried to retreat, he shouted furiously and maneuvered his newfound limbs to strike. Azadine, cool and detached, mused on the beauty of nature, flowers, birds, wind, and moon, a reference to the transient beauty of combat. Just as the captain's legs reached where Azadine had stood, he disappeared in a puff of black smoke, only to reappear behind the captain, delivering a swift, decisive blow. Spiders cannot scratch their backs, Azadine thought, invoking the mistletoe technique. The captain's head was severed cleanly, tumbling towards a petrified Tarki. As small spiders scurried from the stump in a futile attempt to regenerate, their efforts were in vain. Tarki, witnessing the swift decapitation, was horrified by the ease with which Azadine had dispatched the captain. Azadine, having delivered the fatal strike, stepped forward and crushed the remaining spiders underfoot, his cloak billowing as he covered the wound to prevent any resurgence. The finality of his actions left no room for doubt or survival for the mercenary captain. As Azadine approached, Tarki's anxiety spiked, his eyes wide with fear. Azadine's presence loomed over him as he inquired with a hint of curiosity, "Was this guy the leader?" He didn't lose his sanity, despite becoming a spider. He must have been a high-ranking member of the Herald Clan. Despite his fear, Tarki managed to maintain his composure. "Ah, wait. I am," he stammered, his voice trembling. Azadine's sword, still stained with the blood of the mercenary captain, was not directed at Tarki, yet the threat lingered in the air. "Aren't you a heretic? Then don't kill me," Tarki pleaded. Azadine's response was chilling, "It doesn't matter to me whether you are a noble or not." Interrupting him, Tarki frantically pulled a necklace from his pocket, his hands shaking as he held up a small leather pouch. "No, not that. Look at this," he said, his voice urgent. He extracted something from inside the pouch, a gold coin. Azadine's expression shifted to surprise as Tarki extended the coin towards him. The sight of the Emperor's gold coin clearly unsettled him. Silence fell between them for a moment. Tarki, gathering his thoughts, revealed, "As I thought. My mother told me this. You can make a request to the Heretic clan using the Emperor's gold coin." Azadine's face remained impassive as he responded, "Even if you have a gold coin, it doesn't mean anything without a petition." Frustrated, Tarki exclaimed, "Ah, damn it, fine." He tossed the coin towards a triangle shape drawn on the ground. The coin disappeared with a flash of golden light illuminating the triangle. Azadine sheathed his sword and stepped closer, his demeanor somewhat softened. "How is that? I am your employer now, right?" "The correct term is petitioner, not employer. What is your request?" Azadine corrected him calmly. Desperate, Tarki blurted out, "I was infected by that spider. Help me." His plea filled with urgency reflected his desperate situation, seeking salvation from the creature's venomous legacy. Azadine exhaled deeply as the Emperor's voice resonated, announcing, "The petition has been accepted." With a hint of irritation, Azadine questioned the voice, "Why must I accept a petition from this scoundrel?" Overhearing the remark, Tarki objected, "Calling me trash is a bit harsh," his voice tinged with hurt. His protest fell silent under Azadine's stern gaze. Seeking clarification, Azadine inquired, "Where did you obtain the gold coin?" "My mother gave them to me," Tarki responded. "And the mercenaries?" Azadine pressed further. "My mother hired them," Tarki admitted. Despite his illegitimate status, his mother hailed from a wealthy lineage. She had been promised official acceptance into her husband's family if she could secure a copy of the magic book, prompting her to hire mercenaries for Tarki and provide him with Emperor's gold coins. Azadine eyed him skeptically and remarked, "Mother did this, mother did that. Is this what a man who has plundered a village claims? You are behaving like a child." Tarki bristled with anger, retorting, "What? You cur, how dare you speak to your employer like that?" Azadine's blade whisked past Tarki's nose, a hairbreadth away, making him acutely aware of the thin line between caution and harm. It is problematic if you treat me as some mere servant, because you handed over 1 coin. The Emperor's petition does not buy you a slave for a coin, it affords protection only. Tarki, shaken, stammered, then, what are you going to do? Before we proceed, are you incapable of magic? Azadine probed further, then added, your stepbrother is Kozel, correct? You know Kozel? Tarki asked, surprised. Azadine dismissed the question with a wave of his hand. Regardless of how lowly you consider your status, being descended from the 8 heavenly kings means you should possess some magical ability, right? Ah, damn it. Just then, Azadine heard his name called out. Turning his head, he saw Medayam and Ismail approaching. He quickly briefed them on the situation. Medayam looked infuriated while Ismail appeared concerned. Pointing her finger accusatorily, Medayam demanded, so, that guy over there filed a petition? Azadine, crossing his arms, confirmed, yes, that's right. His posture and tone conveyed both resignation and authority as he faced the unfolding complications. Azadine turned to Medayam, his voice tinged with urgency. Could you use Thunderbolt one more time, albeit weakly, please? Medayam, looking perplexed, responded, Thunderbolt? Me? Yes, please do me this favor, Azadine implored. Although he had inquired whether Tarki could wield magic, Azadine himself lacked the ability. Clutching her bow, Medayam explained, I possess some secret techniques, but even with those, it's challenging to eliminate the spiders without harming the host. She then questioned, as someone from Manita town, I'm willing to assist. But isn't it excessive to be bound by a gold coin contract? Her words struck Azadine sharply, I will help you under the contract, but you're not even a professional. Medayam then posed a critical question, can't you just accept me without making me a servant? If so, I'll use Thunderbolt. Medayam knew how to leverage guilt effectively. If Azadine didn't recognize her as a servant, she would withhold her magical abilities. Faced with a dilemma, Azadine hesitated, contemplating whether to acknowledge her just to harness her magic. You too. What would you even do after becoming my servant? Fine. I accept you. Medium's face lit up with joy. Thank you. I will work hard. Ismail winced, each interaction between Medayam and Azadine causing him pain. Previously, Medayam had shown little interest in her peers, always focusing on broader horizons. Ismail had long admired her, even attempting daring feats to catch her attention, but to no avail. Yet now, she was exerting effort to impress Azadine, and to Ismail, it felt like a repeated plunge from a high cliff. Azadine sighed as he observed Ismail's discomfort. What's with him again? Turning her attention to Tarki, Medayam smiled. Okay, shall we get to work now? Since you're a petitioner, you won't die. Tarki, taken aback, stammered, wait a minute, isn't Thunderbolt a lightning strike? What if it kills me too? But before he could react further, a thunderbolt struck, rendering his bones momentarily visible. Tarki screamed as he fell to the ground, the dead spiders oozing out of his body. Azadine, witnessing the scene, he then addressed the audience, quipped humorously, well, at least this time I didn't have to resort to cutting anything drastic. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.